there thinking like, hey, I'm just going to go to the neuro clinic and they're just going to tell me that nothing wrong with you, girl, and that's that, and you don't have to come again, and that's fine. That's not what happened. To my channel, and if you're new here, hey. Alright, so this is part 2 to my whole diagnosis story. If you haven't watched part 1, I'm going to put a card somewhere on the screen. I think it'll be over here. Just go ahead and watch that, and then come back to this video and leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Have you ever heard of this disease before? Right, so in the last video I talked about the initial diagnosis of me being diagnosed with optic neuritis. So basically optic neuritis is when your optic nerves, that's your eye, you know, the nerves in your eye becomes inflamed, and that can affect your vision and makes images distorted, washed out. What else? Words are difficult to read. They can also lose vision in one eye or both eyes. So basically the optic nerve becomes inflamed, and that affects how the eye processes vision, or sees vision, or sees, well, images I should say. So the eye, the optic nerves becomes inflamed, which alter how the eye sees images. So they may not be there, they may be blurred, dulled out. What else? Color is washed out. As I said in my previous video, you can go and watch that. I talk about it a little bit. So that's the initial diagnosis. So they have to have a reason why someone has optic neuritis, right? So they have to find that out, you know, do a lot of tests and all of that. So you have to go through the process and do the bunch of tests them to find out like why this girl in her 20s, almost 30, can't believe this, almost 30, yeah, I'm almost 30, have this issue, you know, at such a young age. Like, what is the reason? So we're at the eye clinic now. Previously we went to the eye clinic, so we're at the eye clinic now, you know. Place yourself there, virtually, figuratively. Right, so as I said before in my previous video, you can go watch it, you know, watch it. So I was sent there for the Thursday. So on the Thursday I was there, did a bunch of tests, had to register, all of that, and I don't remember, it was 2 days, like Thursday and Friday, but I even had to do a COVID test. But before we get to the COVID test, right, so the whole process of them telling me that I have optic neuritis, and the only way to correct the issue is for me to be admitted to the hospital. So how it was explained to me is that to treat this issue that you have, the optic neuritis, you'd have to be placed on steroids. So you'll be admitted in the hospital for 3 days, and intravenously you'll be given the steroids through your veins, right? And they said, well, the steroids is just there to do the inevitable, meaning whatever is to be will be with the steroids. So if it is that the steroids, I'm supposed to get my vision back to 100%, the steroid will just speed up the process. And if it's not supposed to happen, the steroid will just do that, like speed up the process of it not happening. I'm like, so why do I need steroids? Because if the steroids are going to do it inevitable, why do I said, I don't need it. After reading all the side effects of the steroids and what the steroids does to a person's body, I was like, no, thank you, I'm good over here to an extent. And I'm like, there is no way I'm getting steroids to just do the inevitable for optic neuritis. They were looking at me weird and all that, but I'm like, you said that unless you're hiding something, you know, unless you're not telling me the whole 100, you're not giving me the full picture, you're not giving me the full story, why are you looking at me weird? Because it's just to speed up the inevitable. So anyways, I had to do blood tests, I had to do x-ray, I had to do MRI. There's a MRI story too. I had to do a COVID test because, you know, height of the pandemic. And so yeah, so the height of the pandemic and all, you know that, yeah, I have to do a COVID test to be admitted on the on the ward. So I had to do a COVID test, like that is just that was an experience. I think it's a solution that burns, because I had to put the swab into a solution and then stick that swab into your nose. So I think it's a solution that burns, not necessarily the swab, you know, it's a solution, whatever they put the swab in. So I had to do that, and it came back negative. My blood tests, the first set of blood tests were fine. Yeah, were fine. The x-ray, they said it was normal. And then I had to do another blood test, which this now, for whatever they think I had, which they weren't honest with me. They weren't honest to what they said. They didn't say, Hyacinth, we think you may have, so we're now just going to, you know, do some tests, require you to do some tests, and to, you know, confirm. No, they did not. They just going around me like circles. That's what I hate with, I don't know about anywhere else and their healthcare system, but I know about Jamaica, and that is just, I don't like that part. I don't know why you're not 100% honest with the patient. Like, just give the patient the full 100. Anyway, so that is Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, and then I had to go back now I think in those 2 days also I got the paper to do the MRI. So I went to UWI, so I went to the MRI department, imaging department, so that I could get an appointment. They didn't have an early appointment, so I decided to go somewhere else. They didn't have one either. I think something was wrong with their machine or something like that. So yeah, so I had to go back to UWI. So I went to the UWI now, and then the technician was like, "What is that you have?" I'm like, "They say I have optic neuritis." He's like, "But you don't require all of this MRI to be done for optic neuritis. So what is it?" I'm like, "That's what they said I have, optic neuritis, and they need to see what's going on with my brain and with my spine." He's like, "But you don't need all of the 3 sections of the spine." I called the doctor, hoping that she would, you know, actually be honest, finally, but she weren't. She was a good doctor, so apart from that part, she was good. And she's like, "We require that because you have optic neuritis. We don't want to, you know, blah blah blah." I make sure talk to the technician, and still nothing. So so they both decided that one of the spine wouldn't be scanned. So I got the appointment to do the scan, and yeah. So that appointment is, I had to go to the eye clinic every week. Every week I had to go to the eye clinic, like every single week. And I do the same test over and over again, dilating my pupils, doing the color test, waiting for the consultant like forever. I didn't like that part. I'm like, I understand it's a hospital and all that, but you get an appointment and then the consultant is late and all of that. Until I got fed up, because I'm doing the same thing over and 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 over again. And then I think, backtrack a bit. I think on one of those days, it's either the first week or whichever, okay? I got a referral to go to the neuro clinic, because to be administered steroids, the neuro department, from the type of tongue, the neuro department have to give the go ahead, or they are the ones that know how much the patient is supposed to receive. So I went to the neuro, you know, make the appointment, give the referral. They said they'll call or whatever, and they did. And bear in mind, you know, this is 2021, around May, right? You know when I got an appointment for the neuro clinic? January 2022. So please bear in mind, we're in 2021, and the appointment I got for neuro clinic, who is supposed to administer or say how much steroids I'm supposed to get, That appointment is in January of 2022. So I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? So no, I'm like, okay, it is what it is. I still had to be going to the hospital, the eye clinic, every week, and did the MRI, got the results. I think I did blood tests too, got the result for those. The person like, did you get the results? Like, what were the results? There was something located in the blood that made it abnormal, and that is how you know that you have what you have. The blood test is the most accurate, I suppose. So yeah, which them still never say, you know. Anyways, I now got fed up because I'm going to the eye clinic every single week for the same thing. There were some improvements, I must say, with my vision regarding the color part. It did improve a bit, not like drastically. There wasn't a drastic improvement or anything like that, but it did improve. I give it that, it did improve. And I'm just like, do I still have to come here? Because I'm doing the same thing over and over again. I'm not getting any medication. So what are we doing here? And I said, okay, I don't have to come back unless the neuro clinic advise that you should. So you'll go ahead and go to your appointment, and then you'll come back if they require you to come back. So I'm like, okay, thank God, because this is crazy. I have to wake up so early for an appointment, and then I'm not seen at that time, so I have to wait for hours because the consultant is late. But either way, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna live my best life in these streets. No, not in these streets. I'm just going to live my life, you know, and carry on like there's nothing wrong as usual, and just live. And that's what I did. I wasn't even contemplating, like, do I need to go to the neuro clinic in January? Do I need to keep my appointment? Like, you should, because you waited so long for it and you don't know what's what, so let me go, and that's that. And I did go in January, right? So I think, so I'm there thinking like, hey, I'm just going to go to the neuro clinic and they're just going to tell me that nothing wrong with you, girl, and that's that, and you don't have to come again, and that's fine. That's not what happened. It did not go like that. I wish it did, but no, it didn't. It did not. It did not go like that. It did not go like that. Instead, I was asked, do you have a strong support system? And that's it. I'll fill you in. I'll do a video month by month, well, 2 months at a time, of what I went through each time until I'm all caught up. I was supposed to document the whole journey before, but I didn't make notes and all that, but I wasn't doing a video documentation, which I should have, but yeah. Better late than never. So again, if you haven't watched part 1, go ahead and click the card right up there, and you see my Storytime playlist as well, and let me know. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. I hope you gain some understanding from this process, or know a bit more about optic neuritis if you didn't know before. And in the next video, I'll get more in depth into my official diagnosis of why I have optic neuritis. See you next time. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.